Is my screen visible to you all?
Yes.
So, have you all experienced how seating arrangement affects a class? I'm sure there are a few teachers here, so I think they all can relate to it. Yes, Swarnaji, do you want to have something to say?
Because I teach for small children, seating arrangements makes a big difference. Sometimes there are fights as to who will sit in the front and all that. So I understand when how important that is. Even last class, I had a problem with that. Yeah, one child started crying.
That's very normal with kids' classes, yes. So, any other? Yes, Padmaji, do you want to say something?
I think the structure, the seating, because I teach adults only primarily.
Okay.
But I would prefer to have those that are less attentive in the front. And
Oh,
then,
typical classrooms, Indian classroom.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anybody else?
I'll make sure that I'm able to see everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely very important. Yes, Jagannathan.
Yes, Jagannathan.
Yeah, and also like if they are new and if they are coming with their friends, then be it adult or kids, we can have them next to their friend to start off if they are joining in the middle of the session or something like that, and so they can
Yeah.
watch and do it also, not necessarily always look at us.
True. True. Okay. So I think everybody has a general perspective of how seating arrangement affects a class. To give it an overview, I'll just share a few words. So what happens is that we all have, seen the conference rooms and the normal classrooms. So what is the difference between the two rooms? Can anybody guess? What is the difference between a conference room and a normal classroom, as in the Indian classroom? What is the difference there?
So in a conference, everybody sits kind of in an oval or a circle facing each other, but in the classrooms, it's one behind the other, and the teacher is in the front.
Yes, very good. The seating arrangement is very different in both these conference rooms and in the Indian classrooms. Okay. So what happens is that the classroom is designed for the teacher to say or to give out the lecture, to share the knowledge, and the students to listen. Right. So that's why it's like that. But rather in the conference room, everybody has their own opinions to share. So the seating arrangement is such that everybody is able to see everybody else. Okay, so that's how the seating arrangement works in both these, situations in these rooms. Okay. So in terms of yoga classes, so let's say we have different category of people coming to us, right? Let's say be it in the age category, there are different age categories, and there are different, purposes. Like for example, there some people would come for specific therapeutic yoga. Some people would have come for relaxing yoga. Some people would have, see, their purposes are very different. Okay, so and for meditation also we usually sit in a circle, right? So that's where the seating arrangement comes into place. So for example, in the kids class, if the seating is made such that each kid is able to see the others. Okay. For the initial instruction, the students face the teacher so they can all observe the teacher and then do it by themselves. Okay. And then when there is a group activity, they are made to face each other so they can all collaborate and then work. Okay. So that's how seating arrangement works in the kids section. In the adult section, the seating arrangement is such that each member has their space. Okay, each individual has their own space to move, a little bit from their mat, whether if they're turning left and right, they're having their sides open wide apart. Okay, so they have proper space, and the instructor is able to view the entire classroom. Okay, so the instructor sitting in the front, it shouldn't be that only the front row students are visible. Even the last child or the last individual sitting, they should be visible to the instructor. So the seating arrangement should be according to that. It may depend on the size of the room. It may depend on the number of individuals in the classroom, number of students that you have. Okay, so it may depend on whether they're a beginner, whether they're an intermediate, or if they're very well experienced, they know the practice as well. So depending on that, also the seating arrangement is kind of varies. Okay, so let's see a little different types of seating arrangements. So the first one is the traditional circle seating. Okay, so circle seating, it is meant for connection and a sense of community. Okay, so people who are looking for connection, so people who feel lonely, who have busy schedules, and I'm talking in the adult section. Okay, so for those individuals, this might feel very, very soothing. Okay, it might seem like a small gesture, but trust me, it makes a lot more difference. Okay, so and then we have the rows facing the instructor. This is like the typical classroom setup. Okay, so there are like rows. Okay, and the instructor is in the front. So the rows face the instructor. Okay, so what happens in this is that the entire focus is on the teacher. So this is the ideal classroom would be the beginner's classroom. So wherein all the beginners are able to see the instructor very well and then learn from the instructor. Okay. So and the third one, it's the maths in grid. Okay. This is actually the most commonly used seating arrangement. Because in this kind of seating, the instructor is able to see the students properly, and the students are also able to see the instructor however far they are. Okay, so in this arrangement, the mats are placed in the gaps of two mats. Let's say in the first row there are like 3 mats, and the second row would be 2 mats, and then the third row would be 3 mats again. So it is placed in the spaces. All right, so nobody disturbs each other, and they all can view the instructor well. Okay, and the next seating is the semicircle facing the instructor. In the traditional seating, in the traditional circle seating, all these students face each other. Okay, so it is like a community. In the semicircle seating, the students are still partially connected within themselves, but also they are focusing on the instructor. Okay, so this is how the semicircle seating works. And then in pairs or with their buddies. Okay, so this is when as Akka told, when they have like friends or partners coming in, so they can stay next to each other, so they feel comfortable with the class when they're coming in. Okay, so in this, either you can give pair yoga techniques wherein can anyone say any one pair yoga stretch like for complete beginners? Do you have any idea?
Trikonasana.
Yes, okay, how do you do it in pair?
So I make them stand side by side, and then maybe keep their feet, their feet in front of mine, and then hold hands together, and then bend on the side. So it's like a big triangle.
Oh, wow, that's really creative. Okay, that's nice. Okay, yeah, that could be one. Okay, so the most common that we use in adult yoga is the Paschimottanasana and the Baddha Konasana. Okay, so people usually don't get Paschimottanasana right in the beginning, right? They all have stiffness, they cannot bend forward, they have tummy. And so what I recommend is doing, one person would do Batta Konasana, which is your butterfly, and the other person will have their legs stretched out in Paschimottanasana, and they both will hold hands. Well, they both have to pull each other forward. Okay, so in this way, the first person does the Paschimottanasana, bends down and is able to stretch their back and their head, while the other person can bend down in their Batta Konasana posture. Okay, so this is how the pair yoga works. Okay, so this is like a small techniques wherein we can, fasten the flexibility, fasten, reaching that level of flexibility, and faster results. Okay, so that's how the pair or buddy seating arrangement works. Okay, I hope all these are clear right now. Yes, any questions? Yes, Jagannathan ji. Oh, you're fine with it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so these are like the pictures of how these would look like. So this is the traditional circle seating, wherein the instructor is also along, is one among the circle. Okay, so they all feel connected. Okay, there's no like ranking, there's no one front, no one behind. So they're all one equal, kind of thing. And the next is straight column facing the instructor, wherein there are two columns, and then the instructor is in between, so everybody can see. Okay, or there are 3 columns or 4 columns, and the instructor keeps moving. So this is how the straight columns facing the instructor works. This can be done when there are, a large number of students. Okay, so you don't have space, and so you accommodate all the students in a single group. Okay, and the next one is the staggered or the grid position. Okay, so this is when you have enough space to put the mats. Okay, so you have 2 mats here, one in the between, and then again the 2 mats. So there is like enough space, and the instructor and the individual can see each other very clearly. Okay, and then we have rows facing the instructor, wherein you have less number of students, and then you have enough space. Okay, and then we have the paired seating. Okay, can I just have a minute? I'll be back. Sorry about that. Okay. Can you all see me?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, where was I? The paired seating arrangement. So this is when the pairs, they face each other and the instructor is in between. This is usually, you can have multiple pairs and the instructor is sitting in the center, or you have 2 students, you can make them into pairs. Okay. And then you have, just a second. Okay, and then you have the prop-centered seating. Okay, I forgot to mention this in the previous section. Let's say you have certain props, mounted on the wall, or like have it near them. So according to the placement of the props, you adjust your seating. So that's how the seating arrangement works. Okay, trust me, seating arrangement makes a lot more difference in teaching. Okay, you can actually feel the vibration. Different vibes are created in each of these seating arrangement. It depends on the size of the room, it depends on the number of the students, depends on what kind of students are you getting, like what are their mindsets coming into the class. So it all, is based on that. Clear? Yes, Swarnaji?
So Rupaji, if I have a set of students who have been practicing for a few months, and then I get another set of students who are just beginning, so what would be your suggestions to keep to intersperse them, or keep the beginners in the front and then the little bit practice people at the back? How would what would be the best synergy to work in that case?
What I would do is keep the beginners in the front and the experienced at the back. But then again, you can work on the arrangement based on the space available. You can make them into a facing each other. Like one side you can have the beginners, one side you can have the experienced people facing each other, so they can watch and do it. Or something like that. You can work around that. Okay. So what I would do if I have a large number of students with limited space is that I would make the beginners stay in the front and the experienced at the back. Or I could actually keep, a little jumble. One row of beginners, one row of experience, one row of beginners, one row of experience. So people can, see and do it. Clear?
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay, I guess we're done with this topic. Okay, so this is a small introduction on the pregnancy yoga. So why we should do the pregnancy yoga? What is the necessity of it? I'm sure most of you would know the importance of it, as I guess most of you are mothers. And what are the do's and don'ts in pregnancy yoga, and a few practices to do while during your pregnancy. So it's like a short note on the pregnancy yoga. Okay, so now can anybody say why a pregnancy yoga is important? Just your understanding.
A lot of stress physically and mentally too. So your body is going through a lot of changes.
Okay, yeah.
Plus you have
Okay.
responsibility of taking care of the child.
Very good. So pregnancy yoga is like it works on different levels. So first, physically, it prepares you for labor. Mentally, it kind of balances out your mood swings, your emotional whatever is happening with you. And then intellectually, it kind of calms you down, sharpens your brain. And then you have, kind of sense of calm within. That a sense of balance nature, you get all those while doing pregnancy yoga. But primarily, people do it for the ease of labor. Yeah. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of prenatal yoga or the pregnancy yoga. So your sleep will be improved for those who have difficulty sleeping during their pregnancy, and then reduce stress and anxiety. As it's a new experience, I guess most of the women, they get a little stressed. And then we have increased strength, flexibility, endurance of muscles needed for childbirth. This is again a physical point of view. And then decreased lower back pain, nausea, headache, and shortness of breath. Okay, so I'm sure all of you are very well experienced on this. I have read about all this, but I'm not yet experienced, so I can only talk so much. Okay. I guess everybody else understands me way better than I do. Okay. So these are the same that we discussed earlier. So it kind of bonds the baby and mom, the pregnancy yoga, and it kind of builds a support system. So you have something relying on, when you break down, when you have emotional breakdown or something, you have something else. You can do yoga, you can kind of deviate yourself from that, and it kind of helps you as a support system. And then, it lowers your heart rate and blood pressure, because usually pregnant people, they tend to have higher heart rate and blood pressure. And then it kind of balances your hormones, and then it detoxifies your reproductive organs, and then all others are the same. Yes. Okay, so these are some of the practices that you could do while during your pregnancy. So in the first trimester, you can do Tadasan, Triyaka Tadasan, and Kati Chakrasan. I'm sure everybody is familiar with these asanas. Yes? Yes? Okay. So these are very good for your first trimester. And then your second trimester is Pavanamuktasan series 1. Yes, Padmaji?
What's the Triyaka Tadasana? Anita?
Triyoga Tadasana is the swaying tree pose. It's
Like this?
yeah.
Okay, right. But we
Yeah.
don't sway, we just move it like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's kind of the English version of it, the name.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then you have in the second trimester, Pavanamuktasana series 1, you have certain leg exercises. Okay. And then Griva Sanchalana, your neck exercises that we do in the, in the loosening part. The neck, all the neck exercises you could do. In the third trimesters is your Skanda Chakra and Purna Titilayasana, okay, which is a butterfly. These are some of the practices.
Skanda Chakra,
Skanda Chakra is a shoulder rotation.
the shoulder rotation. Okay.
Okay, so these are like the very basics that you could do in the first 3 trimesters, all the 3 trimesters, I'm sorry. Okay, so these are like the basics. And there are also other practices that you could do, during your pregnancy. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so some of the don'ts in during a pregnancy, yoga is that high impact practices should be avoided. Okay, avoided. So first things first, unless you're trained pregnancy yoga instructor, you should not give practices to a pregnant woman. If you have, a pregnant woman coming up for help, you could give the basic practices that we discussed earlier and keep in mind these pointers. All right. Cool. Come on, I'm not getting any reaction.
Is there a special certificate for a trained pregnancy yoga instructor?
Yeah, there is definitely, yes. So in that, what you learn is the how the reproductive organs work, what happens during the pregnancy, and how, as yoga instructors, how should we deal with it, and what are the specific practices we should give for all these trimesters, prenatal and postnatal. So there is like different certification for this, and I think Sasi aunty would help you with the course details.
I have a question.
Sending
So the
it
Pavan
WhatsApp.
Mukta. Go ahead.
I am sorry.
No, I thought Swarna was asking a question. No, okay.
Yes.
It says lying flat on the back, but in Pavan Mukta series, we have to lie flat, right? I mean, basically we bend our legs, but
Okay. So Pavana Muktasan series 1 is your loosening. Remember?
It's like the Titli thing, but the
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
those. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there is a separate. You remember the for the loosening exercises? It's called the Pavana Muktasan series. It's not
Okay,
the
so
one that
fixation
we
butterfly pose.
No, not that one. Not that one. Please don't
Oh, no.
misunderstand. Okay, so it's the it's the loosening that we do in the Sukshma Vyayama, right? In the Sukshma Vyayama, there is one thing called Pavana Muktasana series 1, there is Pavana Muktasana series 2. There are like 2 different loosening sequences. So the first one can be given for pregnant people. Okay, clear? Anybody else has any other doubts? Yes, Swarnaji?
No, I'm not going to go near pregnant women.
Please don't be afraid. No. You can give them, obviously, you all have experience. You can give them, pointers. You can give them certain practices that we discussed before. Okay. But make sure to keep this in mind. That's it. If you want to go full-fledged in it, if you want to like really help out the pregnant women, then you can take up a, pregnancy yoga instructor course, and then you can become a certified pregnancy yoga instructor. All right. So coming back to the don'ts in pregnancy yoga, the first one is avoiding high impact practices like the normal Pavanamuktasan. No, okay. And then any jumping, intense back bends, because as is the tummy is heavy. Okay, let's say in the last trimester or in the second trimester, it gets a little heavier, right? So no intense back bends and all, because the spine is, already weighing a lot. Okay, and strong twists, no. Okay, maybe mild, fine. Okay, no lying flat on the back for the first, for the second and the third trimester. Okay, because what you do, all the practices that we have while having our back flat on the ground is that we either lift our hip or we bend our leg. Both are risky for pregnant people. Okay, under supervision you should do all these. Under supervision certain practices are allowed, but as beginners, as we start out, we should not get into these. Okay, avoid overstretching. You should not keep flexibility in mind while dealing with pregnant women. Okay, so usually in adults class and kids class, what we do, we tend to push themselves to stretch farther. Yes, but we should not do that with pregnant women. Okay, then inversions shouldn't be done. Okay, and then we shouldn't diagnose anything and prescribe a practice for them unless we're very experienced. And then we should have a very individualized approach. Okay, so let's say one pregnant woman and the other pregnant woman is not the same, right? So both have different symptoms, obviously the there are some common symptoms like vomiting or something, nausea or something like that. But certain people have back pain, certain people are completely fine with it, certain people have fatigue, and the other person is like completely fine with it. So it is very individualized to each pregnant woman. Okay, so disclaimer, always give the pregnant women advice that they go to a professional pregnancy yoga instructor. But if there are none, then you can help them out with these basic practices. Clear with that? Everybody else? Tenmari ji is quiet today. What happened, Tenmari ji?
No, nothing, Anita. All is good. Little tired, so that's all.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. What are the do's in pregnancy yoga? First, consult with a healthcare professional. So, if you're starting out in a prenatal yoga, once you become your prenatal yoga instructor, you have to get their health history. Okay, so what are their, do they have BP, high BP, low BP? So all that comes into account. And if they have diabetes or not, okay, what are their lifestyles like? Do they drink? Do they smoke? Okay, so something is like that. And choose a gentle and prenatal friendly poses as discussed before, and then emphasize on breathing. Breathing plays a major role in pregnancy yoga, as the air as the oxygen consumed by the mother goes to the baby. So as more oxygen is consumed by the mother, more oxygen goes to the baby as well. Okay, use props. Okay, the usage of props in pregnancy yoga is very important, as certain poses are not convenient for them to do. Okay, and maintain hydration. Even during the yoga classes, have them regularly sip water to make them hydrated. If they're sweating a lot, sometimes it may lead to low BP, which shouldn't happen. Okay, so try maintaining hydration. Okay. Okay, so this is a different topic. Yes.
How come the techniques weren't part of the first, second, and trimesters?
I'm sorry?
In the previous slides, we didn't have any breathing techniques in there. in the first
I've
section?
emphasized on the asanas part because breathing, mostly all the breathing techniques can be done by the pregnant women, except a few, which we'll discuss in the pregnancy yoga instructor certification course. But here, it's only, you will be dealing only with asanas, right? So if you're trying to help out a pregnant women, so asanas, breathing, you can choose like normal, Nadi Shodhana or Samachi Pranayama. All that can be done. Kapalabhati, no, because you will be exerting pressure on your abdomen. Okay, so certain
Even
practice.
Mahabandha.
No, Uddiyana, sorry, yeah, no Uddiyana Bandha and Mahabandha, because Mahabandha involves your Uddiyana Bandha, which is, exerting pressure on your abdomen. Okay, so that is a no. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other doubts regarding this? No? Okay. I'll stop sharing. Okay. So, okay. So I just wanted to ask, as we have, kind of finished with how to teach your asanas, how to teach pranayama, mudras, bandhas, and then we have moved to how the seating arrangement works. Oh, sorry. We also studied how to teach meditation. Yes. And then we talked on how the seating arrangement works, how should the classroom setup be. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to mention the classroom setup. Okay. So some pointers with the classroom setup is that first, it should be a little spacious. It shouldn't be too crunched. So the people coming in wouldn't feel suffocated. Two, it should be well ventilated and it should be lit up. Okay. It shouldn't be very, dim. So people will come and they feel gloomy. The ambience should be good. Okay. Three, it should have a nice fragrance to it. So the atmosphere itself should be very pleasant and positive. And the fourth one is that you should have, if you have certain props, then it should be placed in a place such as the people coming in has access to them. Okay. So these are some pointers that you have to keep in mind if you're opening a studio of your own, or you have a common place you're having your yoga classes there. Okay, if you're setting up a yoga class, these are like very important. Okay, and then have have a feedback box, always in your class, so that people have the liberty to put in feedbacks into them if they have any complaints, or if they have any good positive feedbacks or negative feedbacks, complaints, so they feel free to put in the feedback boxes. That's something that I do in my class. Okay, and then try to go along with the students' mindsets during the class. So if they are coming in tired, then you should give them practice accordingly. That's like the teaching part. So when it comes to the classroom setup part, this is all that is there is. So any doubts regarding the classroom setup? Okay, I see blank faces. Should I consider?
No questions.
Yeah, good.
We're good. Yeah.
Then Marji, I'm very sorry, but you look so down. Are you good? Good? Okay.
I nodded my head, I think.
Yeah, I did see that, but I feel that you're a bit dull today. So if you wanna like switch off your camera, that's fine with me. Okay. Yeah. So please be pleasant in the class. If you're not feeling well, do tell me. Okay. Okay. So, and now I want to discuss your, learnings. So, we discussed a lot on the teaching methodology of asanas previously, and I guess most of you or everyone has their own, understanding of it right now. By now, yes? Everybody comfortable with teaching asanas?
Yes.
Very
For the
good.
most part.
Very good. Okay, so coming to pranayama, how does pranayama feel like? Feel free to ask me anything that you don't understand or feels any difficulty about it. Okay, so I guess teaching of pranayama, how is it going? Is it okay? Good? Not bad? Bad?
For me personally, like asanas, I think I'm okay with it. But when it comes to meditation or mudra or other things, I myself still learning. So I think I have to go through the recorded videos a couple of times. It is not that I didn't understand it. It is just that the intake and processing time.
Okay, okay. Okay, this is exactly why I wanted to give an assignment. Don't feel, threatened. No, immediate reaction of 10 minutes. No. Okay, so don't be afraid. It's a very, very small assignment. Okay, so I did understand that, only by doing, working on it will you be able to understand and personal learning will happen. So the assignment is very simple. Similarly, how you did for asanas, you're going to do the same thing with the other practices too. Okay. So the only difference is that the practices will be different and the number of practices will be lesser. Okay. In terms of asanas, you had different types of asanas like forward bending, backward bending, sideways bending, and then your twists and inverted rows. So here it will be very simple. Pranayama, you only have how many? How many do we have? Is like, no, I don't remember any of it. Okay, come on,
I don't think
Jagannath.
there's a
We'll just
grouping
count
of
together.
Yeah, we can count together. One.
Okay.
What was the first one?
Nadi Shodhana.
No.
What are you
What was
saying?
the?
What
I
are you
am
asking?
talking about the the practices given in the scripts. First, we'll go with the majors, and then we'll count the regularly practiced. Give those certain
Like
practices. Come
Bastrika,
on. Yeah, Bastrika was there. Bastrika was there.
Kapalapati was there in this. No?
No.
Brahmari.
Yeah, Brahmari was there. Brahmari was there.
What are
And
we
then-
talking about in what script?
The pranayama, we had the 8 pranayamas,
Yes,
right?
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
my God. Okay.
I
Okay,
didn't
now I
process
have a
the
better understanding.
no, I didn't process the question right. It's
Oh,
breaking.
okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine, Swarnasi. Okay. Yeah, so we have 2 down.
So would that Sheetkari,
Shanmukhi Mudra Pranayama.
Sheetkari, Sheetali, yes.
Shanmukhi Mudra. No.
Shanmukhi Mudra comes under mudras. We are talking about pranayam.
Okay.
We had
Yes, we have 4
Ujjaini.
down.
Ujjaini.
Ujjay.
and those two in the
Jagannath ji,
water.
come on.
The two things that we don't practice anymore. The swooning one in the water.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Murcha.
Murcha.
Ah, the Murcha, yes.
And then the blocking. No breath.
What is that?
I don't know. The blocking breath.
Plavini.
Blocking
Plavini.
breath? Plavini.
Yes, yes.
Balloon breathing.
I'm pulling my notes here.
I totally saw that, but it's fine with me. As long as you kind of remember it, it's fine. I'm not like asking you to write an exam.
Is it Ujjayi?
Ujjaini.
It's not Ujjaini, it's Ujjai.
Ujjai, sorry, yeah.
Yes.
And then Surya Bedi is the last one.
Ah, very good. Okay, we're done with it. Come on, Jagannathan ji. It's fine, it's fine. We'll help you out. Try to recollect.
We're done with the 8, right?
Yeah, we're done. We're done with the first 8. Yes. Jagannathan ji. ஏம்மா இந்த பொண்ணு என்னையே நோண்டுது?
Yeah, I don't remember the names. What I do most I practice Bastrika, Kapalapati, and Brahmari. The 3 Ujjayi, and those are 4 I remember. The other things no, I don't remember the names.
Okay, so first one we have Surya Bedi. Okay, and then the next one is?
An echo. It's echoing.
Yeah, I think Jagannathan has full login, right? So that's why it echoes.
Okay. So we have Surya Vedana, and then we have Bastrika, Titali, Seetkari,
Can't
Brahmari,
hear properly, Anita.
Praplavini. Okay, I'll put it in the chat.
Jagannathanji, can you please mute your thing?
It should be good now, Anita.
Yeah. We're good now. I thought of asking Jagannathan Ji, but it's marvelous. Okay, fine. But I like Jagannathan Ji. He's very sweet. Okay. So we have Surya Vedana, we have Ujjay, then we have Seetkari, and then Brahmari, Murcha, Plavini. Oh, I forgot one. Bastrika.
Sheetali also.
Seetali, Seetkari. Okay. Okay, so these are the first 8. And then the regularly practiced, what are they? Kapalapati? Yeah. Okay, so leave the 2. Murcha and Plavini, leave it off. So you have 6 there. Okay. You have 6 practices. And then we have, I'm removing Murcha and Plavini. We had 8. I'm removing Murcha and Plavini because we're not practicing it right now. So instead of that, I'm adding Kapalapati. And what else? Nadi Shodhana.
And then the single breath.
Single nostril kapha. That comes under pre-pranayama technique. So there's something called pre-pranayama technique and then pranayama techniques. Okay? Before doing the pranayama technique, if you do these pre-pranayama technique, it will be way more easier and more efficient to do the pranayama. Right? Okay, so under the pre-pranayama technique, I would give, the single nostril Kapalapati, wherein we do the Kapalapati with one nostril and then the other nostril. And then we do the alternate nostril. You breathe in through both the nostrils. And then, so that's how the alternate nostril Kapalapati happens. And then we could do the Bastrika. Okay. So these all come under the pre-pranayama technique. So this is to getting you ready and expulsion of all the toxic matter within your body. And then what do? You do the slow breathing techniques like Nadi Shuddhi, Nadi Shodhana. And then we have Surya Vedana, Chandra Vedana. Yes, all these can be done later. Okay. So these are your pranayama techniques. Are we now clear? Yes. Very good. Okay. So you'll be working on these. What you have to do is make a column of names of the pranayama practices. And then you have to give the picture depicting the practice. And then you can give the description of it. Okay. A very, very short description where, it should be like when you read it, you should be able to understand.
Our own picture or any picture? Our own picture of doing
anything
the
is fine.
Anything is fine.
Yeah, anything's fine. You can give your own picture also. You can give, a depicting picture also. Anything is fine. As long as you are able to understand. And I am able to understand. That's fine.
So you said pranayama name, then a picture, and then the technique. Explain the technique.
Yes.
So description is like the step-by-step how we do it, right?
It could be just pointers, okay? Just the pointers. So what is Surya Vedana? It's basically inhaling from the right, and then exhaling through the left. Again, inhale from the right, exhale through the left. This much is enough. You don't have to say like sit in Sukhasan or Padmasan and then have your hands like this. It is very much understood that in pranayama, you should sit in a meditative pose unless it is for like standing up Kapalapati practice or something like that. Okay, otherwise you have to sit down in a meditative pose, have your spine straight and have your hands in any mudra on your knees. So this is like self-explained, okay? So you can keep these steps at the top, okay, as the common steps. And then in each pranayama, you can just write the technique. For example, in Surya Vedana, you could give inhale in right, exhale in left. Okay. Again, inhale in right, exhale in left. This much is much more enough. Okay, this is more than enough. Because
You
once
want
you
to-
see the catalog, you'll be able to understand what this practice is. Okay, if you write too much, you won't be able to understand. Again, you have to read through everything.
Can you put in the chat the rest also, please, Anita?
Oh, you want me to give you the description?
No. Just the pranayama salon, the 8 things. We have 2 in the chat, right? The rest, can you put in the chat,
Oh,
please?
yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. So, yeah.
you just want those 6 or 8, Anita ji, or
No.
you want the
The
pranayama
yes,
final
the
one?
pranayama and the pranayama. Okay. So I'll just give you the practices first. So we have I'm sorry, that's a typo.
Then Mul, I can create a spreadsheet if you want. We can add to that same spreadsheet that we had.
Yeah, you can add the same to the same spreadsheet.
With this list.
Yeah.
It's easy.
You can add to the same. Yeah.
Remember the spreadsheet that you created, Ten Molly?
No, I think this one, everyone has to do all of it, right?
Yeah, no, for you to get a list.
Oh, for the list. Okay. Yeah, either way, I'm fine.
So it would be name of the practice. Okay. First, you would give the category of practice. Okay. Whether it is pre-pranayama technique. Okay. And then pranayama technique. Okay. So the mechanism of the pre-pranayama technique is to get you ready for the pranayama technique. Okay. So whatever practices, you can actually frame your own pre-pranayama technique. Okay, so mine is the single nostril and then the alternate nostril and then the Bastrika. So that's my pre-pranayama technique. You can actually frame your own or you can use the same thing also. Okay, so the main principle is that all the toxins should come out of your respiratory tract. Okay, and your lungs. So that's the main goal of your pre-pranayama technique. And in the pranayama technique, it should be about energizing. Okay. So first you'll mention the category, whether this is a pre-pranayama technique or the pranayama technique. And then we have the name of the practice. The picture depicting okay. And then you have the description, short description. Or short technique, I'll write. Okay, the technique in short. Clear?
Can we add more if we know more?
If you know more, you're more than welcome to add. These are like the basics. Okay. Along with this, you can add your mudras. Okay, the mudras also, it's the same. Okay, first the name of the mudra, the picture of the mudra, and the technique of the mudra. Okay. For example, in
Hand mudras, right?
Yeah. There are like different kinds of mudras, right? First, we'll give the category, whether it's Hasta Mudra done with hands, Kaya Mudra done with your body, So the category you put it, and then the name of the mudra, and then the picture of the mudra, and then the technique. In kind of with the hasta mudra and all, it's self-explanatory with the picture, but it's always convenient to write down the technique as well. You don't have to be very elaborate with your technique, just give to the point. For example, in Chin Mudra, touch your index finger with your thumb finger, leaving the other 3 fingers open, placing on your lap with the base down and the palm facing upward. Okay. So also mention how you're placing the hand on your body. For example, there are certain mudras. For example, there is this Jnana mudra, right? People sometimes keep it like this on their lap. No, they're good with, knowing the mudra, but they don't know how to keep it on their, in their lap or in the knee. Okay, so also mention how you're keeping it on your knee in terms of your mudra. All right, so these 2 would be your assignment 2. Good. Okay, I see worrisome faces, but it's all right.
Word document is fine, or you need a PowerPoint.
Yeah, actually it is uploaded. You can actually
No.
view it.
A Word document is fine, or do you need a PowerPoint?
No, the Word document is fine.
Okay.
I know where all those PowerPoints will go after a few days. Because the documents are always fine, because it's like a whole list, right? So you'll be able to get a glance of everything when you go into, practice later on. Okay, so that's about the assignment. So, and regarding your bandha practice and meditation practice, it'll be your 3rd assignment. Okay, so while you're working on these assignments, you'll get a very, good grasp of what these practices are, and then you'll also have some self-learning happening. Okay. Am I pushing you too hard? No? Yes?
No, this is good.
No, reluctantly. It's fine. Okay. Okay. So, any other questions, or shall we move to the next topic?
And this is 2 weeks?
Yeah. You have 2 weeks to work on this. Next topic? Questions? What would you like to have?
Anita, I don't know, like if I missed that class, we were all reviewing our assignments, right? Asana assignments. You did for few of us, but then for the rest of us, we decided we would do it in the next class. Did we finish it up?
No, we didn't finish that. No, we didn't finish that because we had other topics lined up. Because because up until the seating arrangement, all the topics are important, so I had to rush a bit.
Okay.
So yeah, and now we don't have enough time to review them again. So because we only have 4 minutes, so that's why I was asking for any questions, or I was talking about the assignment. Yes, Jagannathan ji, do you want to add something?
Now, next topic will be coffee. Morning coffee.
Okay. Okay. Good one.
No, I sincerely was thinking, what is this? What did I miss in the class? What is he talking about?
That's a good one, Jagannath.
Okay. So we'll just brief. The other topics coming up are all very, theoretical topics.
Early release, Anita.
I'm sorry?
Early release today.
Early release? You all want early release? Okay,
You
I'll
did
just
2
take
assignments, right? So early release.
compensation, huh? Okay, I'll leave after 5 minutes. Yeah. We'll quickly finish this off. Okay, it might seem a lot, but no, it's not. Okay, so principles of teaching. This is a very generic topic. Okay, so what do you think are the principles of teaching? First, teaching, it's kind of like there is a role shift happening here, right? So from a student, we are all becoming a teacher. So what are the principles of teaching? So first one, safety and alignment. Okay, so always look for the safety of the students, but also don't be afraid, to make the students push themselves. Okay. Try to balance the student. If some students will be like over enthusiastic, they would want to try a more advanced asanas, they would want to try a lot more. You have to rein them down. Okay. And some students might feel very afraid to even try halasana. Okay. So in adults, let's say, they might be, very healthy looking. They might be, quite flexible. They could have the potential to complete the halasana and improve their flexibility, but they might feel that it's a very risky asana. No, I'm not doing that. I feel very, scared to do that. In that case, you can give a little push to them without, scaring them off. So that's something that you could do as a teacher. But in some cases, people are like over enthusiastic, and you kind of get that idea that they might be, some safety issues might come up. So in that cases, you should always look to the safety issues and then slow them down. Okay, so that's your first and most important principle while teaching yoga. Okay, and the second one, always give focus on the breathing. Okay, now yoga is all misconceived. It's like everybody is going on the physical aspect of it, like only it's like becoming an exercise, which is not. Okay, yoga is kind of mindful doing, or like very consciously you have to do the practices to actually reap the benefits of it. Okay, so always emphasize on breathing while giving the asana practice. Okay, and then the third one, sequencing and progression. Okay, we all have studied the lesson planning. Yes, so we now understand how the sequencing, the lesson planning affects the student. So all that should be, planned well. So the student will learn in a continuous and, in a strategic way. Okay. And the fourth principle is that personalization. This is very, very important. Okay. So everybody is very unique, in terms of their bodies, in terms as an individual. Yes. So you should always personalize their practices according to the individual. Even if you have, and this is what sets you apart from the others too. Most of the teachers, what they do is in a group class, they always give a common practice and they tell everybody to do the same thing. Even if they're not giving, even if the person is not able to do the particular asana or the practice, they're always, you can just relax if you want. If you cannot do this practice, the teacher kind of puts them off. Okay, that's what I see in most of the classes around me, but I'm not sure how it is in these states. Okay, so what you could do is that you could give an alternative pose or a half pose. Let's say everybody is doing Navasana. You have a group of 10 individuals, okay, 10 students, and then you're giving the practice of Navasana. And 3 of your students are unable to do the Navasana and they keep falling off. Okay, let's just assume the situation. Okay, so in this case, what you could do is that you can give the other 3 people Ardha Navasana or the half boat pose, wherein you support your body with your elbows. Right? So this is a small personalization, but those students will feel included in the class. And this makes a lot of difference. Okay, so always look for personalization and always encourage your students. Okay, and then communication and connection. This is also very, very important. Okay, it shouldn't be a very robotic, monotonous class-like session. It should be, yoga is something that it's kind of like we connect with the students. Okay, the other subjects, it's more on the surface, so it's very subject oriented. We are just on the knowledge imparting part. But in yoga, we are like treating them as a whole individual, right? We're treating all planes of being. We're treating them physically. We are, considering their mental wellness. We're considering their intellectual wellness. We're considering their spiritual wellness. So we are actually looking them as a whole individual. So there's kind of personal connection happening there. So you should always have a healthy communication and connection with each of your students. Make sure everybody is happy in your class. Okay, so these are the principles of teaching yoga. Seems fair? Everybody agrees to it? Okay, so with that, we'll wrap up today's session.
One quick question, Anita. Like, if we want to do it in a slide, can we do it?
Sure.
Because to insert pictures,